How's it going, everybody? I am Preston Johnson.
Welcome to
Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV.
As a general philosophy.
That's exactly right. You're a fish.
Qwan, by the way, my producer, Qwan Young, doing a good job. He'll be taking the calls. How you doing today, bud?
Hey, man, how are you?
We appreciate you guys tuning in. Welcome to the show, Bets TV, bringing you Last Word Cheetah. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah today. It is Wednesday. Here at the Bets TV studios in Southern California, I am Preston Johnson, hanging out with Qwan Young, producing from the sidelines over yonder. It's a rough day for my good friend Qwan yesterday. We have this segment called Qwan Fades. He went 500 in June. He was 2-1 early to start this month. He basically went all in on the Suns, went on some player props yesterday over the course of the series with the Chris Paul MVP bet. The Suns last night to cover 8 and over points, Crowder under points. Connaughton actually was the threes. You went over Connaughton threes. 0-4 run there for you concludes last night. As you can tell, he's in a great mood.
I just want to go on record and saying, holy hell, Chris Paul. I mean, you want to talk about a front row seat. First of all, that game was ugly, sloppy.
Dude, the beginning of that game was brutal.
It was terrible basketball.
It was good if you had the under.
Yeah, and you just saw,
good.
Like, I just watched Phoenix watching everybody. And
Yep.
I don't know what point it was. I think it was halftime. And they came out, Milwaukee came out in the third. And just like the first few possessions, it was just like, oh, yeah, this is over.
Well, the Suns, they had the 7-point lead right away in the third. I think they scored to open it up. And they're up 49-42, something like that. And then it just went and flipped completely the other way. It was a weird game in the sense that, the first quarter was 29-16. Suns are already down 13 points. And then the Suns come all the way back, and they're leading by 7 by the start of the third. It was weird. It was super swingy. Ultimately, the story needs to be, outside of you going 0-4 in the series, that we went, and that I went 3-0 on unders.
So let's refresh what happened yesterday and from June 22nd.
Okay, I'm not 100%
fade.
sure.
People have been hitting Pat Connaughton over 1.5 threes. I'm gonna go. I know Scott's probably watching. I'm sorry, Scott. We're going Aiden in the points just to close it out, and I'm taking Phoenix.
Aiden is 16.5. You're going over. Just confirming. Okay, and then Phoenix plus the 5.
Yep. If it's a blowout, I'm thinking Devin Booker's giving buckets, and he's big performances is going to be Devin Booker. If it goes 7, they're going to find a way to give it to Chris Paul because he's going to lead, he's going to play defense, going to come up with a big stop, something like that, if they get there and if he's playing.
How bad does it feel to watch yourself back with bad take after bad take after bad
It's horrible.
take?
Like,
that's got to hurt a little bit.
I was putting it together, and it was like, wow. Quant fades is working. Like,
everyone's
if people are actually
crushing.
fading me, they're crushing it.
Yep.
Which is the desired intent.
That was the intent of me proposing the segment, yes.
So, you're welcome.
Yeah, everyone should be happy, to be honest. It's a good point.
Obviously. I'm here to do my job. I'm here to be wrong.
Yeah.
And, to make the show look good.
You've been wrong about all the prop bets
Everything.
and challenges we've done.
Listen, the props that were hitting every night were great until Quan the Mush showed up.
I got to give Giannis a shout out. Clearly, I'm sure everyone's going to talk up just what an incredible NBA Finals he had, whether he hurts his knee or not, just an insane performance. And then he had a game and a closeout, 50-19 and 5 blocks, I think was maybe the number. He made 17 free throws out of 19 attempts, something that I don't know if we'll ever see again in a Giannis game. It's just insane. Massive masterpiece. I don't even know. It's kind of like, there aren't words to describe what he did. And it was the reason they won outside of Bobby Portis somehow scoring 16 off of the bench. Other than that, like Tucker, Connaughton, the role players, Drew Holiday, they were ice cold. I think they combined something like 4 of 25 or 426. And Middleton, who deserves love, I decided at the end of the last game, every game in this series that was close to the final couple of minutes, Middleton didn't miss a single jumper in those moments. He wasn't even shooting the ball very well last night, and then he hit 2 key mid-range jumpers when the game was it was a 4-point game. just to kind of put him back over the top. And then back when they made the big run in game 4 to come back and win, he hit every single shot down the stretch. So he deserves love along with Giannis. But and speaking of Anthony, I think, who called in a little early, a few minutes ago, Middleton knocking down the daggers. No surprise there after he called him an average player. They have history. I'm not sure what it really is, to be honest, but they have history. Congrats to Milwaukee. Congrats to the Bucks. I do need to say this before. By the way, 661-515 bets is our line. We open up the phone to you guys to call in. I think they went 0-5 or 0-6 yesterday, the callers. You guys didn't win a single bet. I know a few of you are trying to parlay and get ahead in the leaderboard because we're giving away, at least right now, the prize pool for July is $700. We're going to give that away to the person that has the best ROI at the end of the month. So call in again, 661-515 bets. Before we start taking your calls, though, I had this thought as I was driving over to the studio today. And the saying in football is game of inches, right? A game of inches. And it's interesting how perception changes so much based on literally something like an inch. So, for example, if Kevin Durant's toe isn't on the line when he hits the turnaround, the Nets just win that series. Mike Budenholzer's fired. Instead, the Bucks are hoisting the trophy, and Mike Budenholzer probably has a pass for the next 5+ years because they won a title, right? And so I just think it's really interesting when you kind of like put things into perspective. Even that same game, for them to even come back and take the lead those final 2 minutes, Drew Holiday, who couldn't hit a shot the entire game, randomly had a stretch where he hit 3 or 4 buckets in that last minute and a half of that Game 7 against Brooklyn. You have 2 situations where like Chris Paul slips at the end of Game 4 with a chance to win the game and just loses the ball. Game 5, Booker just hesitates for some reason, stops, and then Drew Holiday rips the ball. They could have won the game there. So like little things, they add up, right? The Saric injury, which they didn't have a backup. Like Frank Kaminsky played 10 minutes last night in your ass is on the line NBA Finals season over game. Kaminsky, Frank the Tank,
The show,
and they're on TV being like, "Oh, Frank Kaminsky, man, he's a lottery pick back in the day," like trying to talk it up like it's okay, like he's been there before at Wisconsin. It's like, come on, give me a break. They had no one after Saric. Ayton's trying to play as many minutes as he can. He had a game in the series. I think he played 45 or 46 minutes. He was in foul trouble, so they had to go to Kaminsky. They can't play small. Giannis was just bullying him anyway. So the Saric injury, like maybe Saric just doesn't get hurt, right? And maybe the Suns win. There's just so many little things that happen that mold this perspective, like these minuscule percentages or literally Durant's toe, right, that change everything. And I think it correlates. As I was driving over, I wanted to try to like articulate this correlation to this general market perception and what people see. And we saw it even in the Hawks series. Like everyone was out on the Bucks when it was 2-2 against the Hawks. And I liked them in games 5 and 6, even without Giannis, because it was like, well, they're still pretty good relative to a Hawks team that doesn't have Trae Young. I know the Hawks looked really good in game 4 when Trae wasn't there because they just hit every shot, but you got to just kind of put it into a grand scheme or look at things in a vacuum. And so you can't overreact to certain things, and you can't overreact to, Durant's toe on the line or the Bucks actually winning the title. It happened. But it's just things you have to consider, especially when it comes to betting day to day, week to week in all of these markets, all of these leagues. So I just thought that was interesting. You put your hand up. What do you got for me?
You kind of predicted this, didn't you?
Oh, I did. Are you going to put that tweet up?
Yeah.
My friend, all right, people are going to say this is like photoshopped, or I just like have been planning this for years. Look, back in the day when people still used Facebook and got in arguments that weren't just political, I put this up. Look, I'm betting the NBA for a living, other sports too, but like I felt like it was a pretty good, took a shot, took a flyer, went with it, and it turned out to be right. So my buddy messaged me, good long time friend, and we'll hit a break right after I finish this in a minute. He says, "Hey, remember, he's like, I think it was 5 or 6 years ago you predicted the Bucks would win a title in 2020-21. And I was like, nah, I think it was more like 3 or 4 years ago. But the reason he remembered is I got in a legitimate argument with someone, a friend from high school, about it. He was like, one of the guys was talking about how Isaiah Thomas was going to lead the Celtics to the Eastern Conference Finals like for the next 5 to 7 years. How did that one turn out? And then this other guy was like getting really defensive and like going at me, and he actually has deleted his account since, so you can't see it in the thread anymore, but you see me responding to like a nobody like 4 times. But the reason we remember it is because this one guy like absolutely just like lost it. So anyways, it felt good being right about that, and I had totally forgotten until my buddy texted me. So Bucks 2021 took it down. Giannis, I know it's subjective. Is he the best player in the world? Not sure. It's close. He did this with a hyperextended knee injury. He's got to be up there. It was an insane performance. So shout out to them. Shout out to Milwaukee. We're going to take a break. 661-515-BETS. We're going to take your calls on the other side. We have about a 20-minute window. We need winners, guys. You went 0-6 yesterday. Give us a W, Anthony, please, for the love of everything. We'll talk to you soon. Welcome back to Last Word Cheetah. We just had a little bit of a discussion with our friend Anthony off air. He said he's going to keep his cool, but he's a little heated. I'm not sure why, other than he keeps losing. But other than that, I'm not sure why he would be too upset. Maybe he had a massive bet on the Suns or the series or something. Anthony, welcome to the show. The floor is yours. Tell us how you really feel.
I have about 30 things to say. First, why is no one putting all this on Monty Williams? Your best.
Let me ask you why. Why do you think that?
Your best offensive threat in the first half was Campaign. He doesn't play a minute in the second half. Nobody has said that, and I just can't get it. Your team couldn't score the ball. You literally let the shot clock get to 7 and toss it to Jay Crowder. Close your eyes. Do the same thing with Kaminsky. I also can't understand Chris Paul. He comes down the court. He has P.J. Tucker on him. Then they have Ayton comes to the screen. Giannis switches out to him. That's an even worse matchup for him than P.J. Tucker, and then he just can't do anything with it. The Suns' offense, pathetic. It should all be blamed on Monty.
That's interesting. I hadn't actually, you're right, no one had mentioned the Campaign thing. But now who wants to say, oh, we got to go to Campaign in the Game 6 of a closeout NBA Finals game? But he finally – he had missed everything in the finals up until the first half of last game. So I don't know. You're just going to count on Booker and Paul. But maybe they go smaller and try to beat them, off the dribble more frequently. And, Campaign could take P.J. Tucker or Giannis to the basket or at least create some space.
He wasn't
for other
passive.
Because
Campaign was aggressive.
No, he was. He was going to the rack. So I don't hate that take when it's all said and done. Get a little Campaign minutes in there, at least more than Frank Kaminsky. Jeez. Continue.
Yeah, Ayton had no shot at guarding Giannis in space, so you just had a huge matchup issue. And Kaminsky, you might as well had a ghost out there. So I don't know why they didn't just go small and they couldn't rebound the ball to begin with. So it was 8.
Right, they were still giving up a bunch of offensive rebounds anyway.
So, yeah, and Ayton couldn't be in the paint just on the glass anyways because he wasn't guarding their center. So it was like, why not just go small? Like, it worked in that second quarter. That's when they came back. Campaign was, I don't know.
Have you considered coaching in the NBA yourself?
I would love to.
I don't think there's
I
a
should
team that can afford him.
That's probably true. Quan makes a great point. I know your asking price is pretty high, but if Bets TV ever gets to the point where we can buy out a team, I think we got to bring Anthony in at least as an analyst, if not an assistant coach. Can you imagine him going after an official after a bad call on the sidelines?
Oh, my God. You couldn't imagine how many texts I got in my career. You literally couldn't.
Did you play back in the day?
You literally. Oh, no, not yet. I got tossed from a few, and we definitely counted up some ejections.
You got to send us the YouTube clips, man. The Anthony highlights.
Only if I had them. Some highlights. I'll come out there and I can't curse, but bust up old Gobbler over there.
Yeah, you can. I guarantee you can beat him in a free throw shooting. Yeah, you can definitely beat him in a free throw shooting contest. I'll lock that up right now. I don't care. Do you have a bet for us today, Anthony, that you want to hit?
Well, I wish there was a future on Giannis not making it to the Eastern Conference Finals in the next 5 seasons, because I would love money on that.
You can probably find a friend to book
all
that.
the talk on ESPN, which ESPN is terrible anymore, but it's like, oh, are super teams the move anymore? Like every super team didn't have an injury. The reason why, they got to where they were. And then it's like, you look at that Bucks team, and call me what you want, but they're like super role players, like the elite of the elite at what they do, and they have like a good squad. And I don't know, to me in the NBA, you don't want like that small point guard. It's just like everything's a switch and pick and roll anyways, and that's how their team was built. They could just switch on everything.
Does this mean you're giving Chris Middleton credit?
No, he called them all role players. So
he
no,
said super role players. They're good at what they do.
Chris Middleton under one last night. What are we talking about? I mean, I love the way the Suns were trapping those ball screens, so I knew the under was a lock. Finally, they were getting after him. Middleton would have shot it 40 times last night if they didn't do that.
That's probably true, and they would have won by 20. So
easily. Suns
you have a bet tonight?
Yeah. We're going with and Giannis isn't the best player in the league too. There, Preston. Come on.
I mean,
we all know.
That's a resume, though.
What?
Couple things.
What?
Couple things.
What?
And I love Bobby Portis too. But a couple things.
Come on.
He did. For no one's ever had that line in an NBA Finals closeout game ever. No one's had what he averaged in the NBA Finals, other than one time Shaq did it, one time Hakeem did it. And he did it with a hyperextended knee that everyone thought he wasn't going to play on anyway. So he's up there.
Was Giannis healthy or not? We can't talk knee and then look at how he played. I mean, he was great, but he's not the best player in the NBA.
It doesn't matter. He still did it with a knee that had hyperextended and went backwards like a few days before the series started. So I got to give him credit for that either way.
I mean, soft. He faked the injury.
Here's the thing, though. I would still say I'd rather have Kevin. Like, people forget I was talking about like little things that could have changed everything. Like the Nets without Harden beat the Bucks by 50 in Game 2, and we're up 2-0 before Kyrie gets hurt. Like, I know you don't want to give a ton of credit to the Bucks. It's true. They the Suns as well were helped by a bunch of injuries to even be in the spot they were in. But yeah, if you're talking best player in the world, it's subjective. Giannis is top 3, but Kevin Durant's probably in the mix there too. If you want to go that route, I'm fine with that. You can have that argument.
Giannis won't find himself in Eastern Conference Finals probably for the rest of his career.
Well, I hope that we get to hear it the next 5 years every day when you call in. That would be a good build up. We could cut like what's 5 times 365, like 1,800 days of Anthony saying that, and then we clip it.
Weekends, so
maybe it's fewer.
Implied probability of like 327% that Anthony calls somebody trash.
We'll see how many times he mentions it, but I think it will be over 1,000 for sure. I still don't remember if you have a bet that you like tonight or not.
Yeah. I'm getting
okay.
Sorry,
It's the Anthony show.
All right, we're going the board. All right, we're going Twins money line. Cease is a big gooker. No more gook.
Plus 145. Okay.
We're going under in the Astros Indians.
He's definitely putting this parlay together on the spot.
On the spot.
There's no way he did any research on this play.
I like it.
And
Maybe he might actually win because of that. Actually, that's a good point.
No. McCullers, great spin rate. What are you talking about? All right, and then under in the Dodgers and Giants.
Actually, I do have some info in the Dodgers game. You want to hear it?
Okay. You're gonna tell me now or after? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm locking you in either way. I can give you an 8.5 minus 113. That's the pinnacle price. Hold on. You want to go 3-teamer? You get 8-1 plus 802 is technically the number. I don't know how many units you're down. This might get you even though if you hit it tonight.
No, it'll get me way above even, way above.
I'm pretty sure you've lost like 6 or 7 straight.
Whoa, it's like 3, and I hit on the AL. One day I just bet the AL.
Yeah, that's true, but you also had a loss at 0.425 units on 714.
Quan's doing the math. You're right. You'll probably be positive, but I'm pretty
that
sure.
Suns game when you call Middleton the average.
And then you've tried a few parlays since. I think you're like -5 in the whole something.
And you parlayed, I think, yesterday.
Here's the info. By the way, do we have someone waiting online?
No,
okay.
It's the Anthony show.
That's fine. We can keep going. So 661-515 bets if anyone wants to get a play in for today. Otherwise, Anthony might take this.
We need Bobby Brands. Bobby.
He's calling him out. He'll call in. He always does. He's a good friend of the show.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He seems like a good guy. I like busting on him.
Of course. It's fun. So I have this weird like family thing when we attend events. The most, or I should say the least exciting thing happens. So like when I used to live in Salt Lake City, I'd go to RSL soccer games, and I went on a run of attending 9 straight matches. I've only ever attended 9. They all went under the total. Dodgers game, same thing. I'm not going to the game tonight, but I know my dad is. And I feel like we might pass that on.
What's RSL under? What's that under?
I have no idea if they're even playing, but they were, all the goals were like 2.5 or 3.
What? Oh, it's soccer?
Yeah, soccer. So I went to 9 RSL Real Salt Lake soccer matches. These are years ago when I lived in Salt Lake. I was finishing my master's degree. 9 straight unders, and I've just noticed a trend now. When I go to sporting events, they always go under, and so through the family genes, the bloodline here, my dad's at the Dodgers game tonight. I kind of like your under. I think this trend might continue. So there was a game the last time my dad went to a Dodgers game. They hit 5 home runs. The Dodgers did. The Giants hit 2 home runs, and it still went under 7.5. They were all solo shots. So this is the type of stuff that happens when we're attending games. So I like your under there for sure. Not sure about your other 2 bets, but I think you're good there.
I like that.
You should probably bet more on it, to be honest. It's actionable information, historically significant. Right. It's been back tested. We were going to do a documentary about it. I don't know. It fell to the wayside.
Fox approached us.
That's right. Anthony, we appreciate your call. Appreciate your love. Good luck tonight. This 3-teamer we did confirm will put you in the positive, so you might have a shot.
All right, I'm going to need a triple recount because Quan's injury might be getting counting ability.
It's true.
Math it's not a major strong suit.
I'll look it over. I'll make sure you're in good shape. Take care.
That's a crazy point, though, to say that Giannis won't get back to the Eastern Conference Finals
the next 5 years.
Next 5 years with the same team, pretty much the same team they're going to have. And the Nets are the competition. The Hawks are on the up and up. And then
the Hawks thing was kind of fluky-ish.
Yeah, like they're on the up and up.
The Sixers should still be in the mix. The Nets will, but it's all assuming health. You want to know, they have Middleton for the next 3 seasons locked up. They have Giannis through the next 4. They have Holiday through the next 4. Lopez for the next 2. DiVincenzo's in there for the next 2, as is Pat Connaughton. They're still paying Larry Sanders. Remember good old Larry Sanders? They're still paying him. Hope you're doing well. Better. Diakite, one of their rookies. They got him for the next years. I don't know. They're going to have to try to build around a team that is paying $106 million to 3 players starting next year, and it goes up with each year. He's probably not. I don't think it's a hot take.
Yeah, I don't think it's a hot take, but
Because it gets to a point where they're going to have to start adding around 3 guys that, look, he's right. Outside of Giannis, I think Giannis is a top player for sure, but Middleton isn't like, it's not a big 3. It's not a super team vibe when it's Middleton and Drew Holiday, and I agree. So
that's one of the worst. Like that's one of the worst things is because it's not even remotely what the super team era or the criteria for a super team is.
Well, that's why he was saying there was like an article or whatever that was like, is the era of the super team dead? And he's like, what the hell? Like KD and like half of a James Harden leg and no Kyrie almost beat this Bucks team that won it all. Yeah. You obviously had the injury to Kawhi Leonard, Jamal Murray, Anthony Davis and LeBron with the Lakers. And so, yeah, I mean,
you think
I'm
the
with
Bucks repeat or...
No, I think they're a fairly big underdog relative to the rest of the league to win it all next year.
Okay.
I'm not sure. There's probably prices up. I could pull them up right now for like next season NBA championship odds. I'm guessing that the Nets are still a massive favorite, like probably 2-1 range. Then it'll be a drop off to the Lakers. And let's see. I don't know if you're trying to pull something up yourself, but we'll see if we can get in here. We have about another minute before our next break. NBA Finals, let's see. Okay, plus 200 for the Nets at one shop I'm looking at right now. Los Angeles Lakers plus 600, and then the Bucks plus 850. So you're getting 8.5 to 1 on the Bucks right now. I am surprised. I didn't necessarily want to talk NBA next year already, but you can get the Sixers at like 20 to 1, and I think they're a candidate to somehow find a way to swap Ben Simmons for Damian Lillard potentially. I know the Sixers are one of the teams he would go play for. I think a Lillard Embiid 1-2 punch in the East is better than the Bucks. Theoretically, they have pieces around them too that would be worthwhile. I still think the Nets will be a deserved favorite, but yeah, it's interesting. But repeat, yeah, they're definitely an underdog. I think the Bucks probably repeat. The market's saying something like 11-12%. It's probably less than that. I did want to talk a little Olympics NBA. We'll do that later in the show. We'll take a few more of your calls on the other side if we have them. 6-6. When we have someone right now, tell them we got to go to a break in about 20 to 30 seconds, and then we'll hit them on the other side. We're also going to continue my Big 12 preview for college football. We're on teams 7 and 8, which, by the way, we're talking about teams and how many are in each conference. And we're like, wow, the Big 12 is like the last conference left that actually has the number of teams it's called in it. It hit me after the show. I was like, there's only 10. We're like, yeah, Big 12 actually has 12 teams. Congratulations. Nope, they got 10. So we're doing 2 more today, 2 tomorrow, and then we'll recap with Ray G on Friday. This is Last Word Cheetah, 661-515-BETS. We'll take more calls on the other side. Welcome back to the show. We have some more callers that have been on hold. I believe Ethan is up first. We'll jump right into them, and then we'll continue on with Big 12 discussions. Ethan, welcome to Last Word, Cheetah Man. How have you been?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. What do you got for us today? Hopefully a W. Yesterday the callers struggled.
That's because I didn't call in yesterday.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right. I'm going with Yankees money line.
Yankees money line. Tell us why.
They're hot, baby. Got to ride the hot team.
Do you know how to say the last name of the pitcher on the mound today for the Yankees?
Absolutely not.
I think it's Adrian Wojnarowski, I think is how you say it. It's close to that, though, really. They're plus 100 at Pinnacle. That's the best price I can give you, I think. Plus 100. Does that work?
Absolutely. I'll take it.
Okay, we'll lock you in. He's called in a few times this month. Do you have a tally on him by chance? If you don't, it's okay. I know we're getting the leaderboard together.
I don't know if I've hit anything this month.
Yeah, I think you might be like 0-2 or something in that range. Hopefully this starts off a little hot streak. Yeah. You can catch Ty, who's sitting up top still in the plus 6-ish units range. And everyone's really kind of struggling outside. He hit Morikawa. That's the only reason he's up there. So if someone gets hot, there's still a chance, guys. We still got 9 more days till the month.
Ty's got 7.94.
Well, and then he lost one, though, right? His last bet? No? He didn't call in since? I thought he lost one.
He's got 2 bets from 7-8.
Okay.
And 7-16.
All right, you guys are a little further behind than I thought, but we'll start with this one, Ethan. We'll get you rolling. Appreciate the call.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
And he won on 7-19. Ty's got a good lead.
I thought he lost the next day he called in, and he lost a bet after the Morikawa hit. So, like on Monday, 2 days ago.
7-16.
I'll ask him, and I can go back and look. We'll make sure it's covered. But
there's a lot of notes here.
Yeah, you really got to just use it.
Oh, yeah, Diamondbacks first 5.
Yeah, and did that lose?
No.
It won. Okay, so he won the bet after. I thought he lost one. Jeez.
He's like
he's probably actually is probably smart. He's like, everyone's losing every single day. I'm just gonna keep my plus 794 and pocket the W. All right, Bob, we'll bring you in. Welcome to Last Word, Cheetah Man. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Appreciate it.
All right. Hey, I got a question before I share my amazing. I'm going 3-team parlay because I hear that's what all the best bettors are doing today.
That is, yeah.
Across the continent. But hey, I might have tickets to go out. I'm an Oregon Ducks football fan and basketball. But anyway, I'm thinking of going to the Horseshoe game. My buddy's got second row seats there. But any thoughts on the Ducks versus Buckeyes football game in September? I think it's September 11th of all days. Yeah.
Whoops. I just dropped my phone. I was going to look up a line. I'm not sure what the market is off the top of my head. Do you know?
Well, I think it's the Buckeyes, probably like 5.5. So.
Wait, what? That's it?
But I don't know.
There's hold on.
You look it up. You tell me. It's been a while since I looked.
Is it a home game for you guys?
No, it was supposed to be. Last year it would have been, but this is a home and home series. But last year's got messed up, right, because of COVID. So
yeah.
No, it's an away game.
There's no way this spread's only 5 then. If not, then you should just be hammering Ohio State if they're playing in Columbus. I'll look it up, guys. Just give me 30 seconds. But I heard off air that you are an actual Oregon Ducks fan.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question while I'm pulling up the line real quick, because I'm talking about him later on the show, and I don't want to be embarrassed saying his name publicly live on air incorrectly. Tyler Show. How do you say the quarterback's name? His last name? How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, well, he's probably not going to use the quarterback this year. I don't know, but Show. But you're actually on air right now, aren't you, bud?
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to pretend no one could hear. But he's a transfer. He's playing at Texas Tech. We're going to talk Big 12 later, so that's why I was curious.
Oh, I see. I was like, yeah, because he got set up, I think. Yeah, well, I don't know why those guys leave anymore.
I'm not sure there's really many available Oregon-Ohio State game lines because they don't – I mean, Oregon opens up against Fresno State anyways, right? Because it's a few weeks in. So there might be I think FanDuel does some game of the years. So while you break down your bet for today, I know you're doing a 3-teamer. I'll look up and see if FanDuel has a line. But if it's really only 5 or 5.5, Ohio State at home to Oregon, that's an incorrect line. They definitely should be betting the Buckeyes there. But I'll let you continue, and I'll pull up and see if I can see this.
But I'm traveling across country. I want to see my Ducks win, doggone it.
I mean, well, that's the problem, Bob. Everyone loves to bet with their heart. You just can't. You can't do that. You can't fly across country and be like, wow, this line's only 5. That means the Ducks are going to do this and bet the Ducks at a horrible number. The line's not going to be 5
I
when
get
they
you.
play.
That's why I would never criticize somebody for betting against their hometown team. Even if they're from like DC and they bet against the Nationals and turn out to win by 14 runs, I would never criticize them for that.
Where? Quan's left it.
Do you not hear what Bob is doing?
I'm trying to look up this line.
Bob is taking shots so subtly. Like it's subtle, but I have been paying attention to this show for the last week. The 3-team parlay thing is absolutely a shot. And then the fading the hometown team is 1,000% a shot.
Qwan picked up on it more than I did. But I can't find, FanDuel doesn't even have their game of the years up anymore. So I don't think there's a price. Hopefully someone out there bet Ohio State if it was 5, 5.5. But let's carry on. Let's move on to I guess you really are going to go 3-teamer though tonight.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I hear all the best bettors doing
Yeah. Quan's loving this.
All right. Yeah, but I'm picking favorites in the MLB. I put down. By the way, you said like which conferences have the same number of teams? In the West Coast, we do it right, Preston. I mean, I know you just moved to LA or whatever, but Pac-8 added 2 teams, became the Pac-10.
Yeah.
2 more teams became the Pac-12. And that's how we roll.
So I have a question. This is interesting. They're like the one conference that's actually changed their name according to how many teams they have. Nobody else cares anymore. What's the preference? Like people hated that they went from Pac-10 to Pac-12, but also now like I couldn't imagine it being any different. There's 12 teams. You call it the Pac-12. Like, should these other conferences be changing their names, or do you prefer to just leave it and no one really knows?
On the West Coast, Preston. You know, I mean, it's the Conference of Champions. That's a fact.
I don't think the Big Ten would sound good at Big
14. Right, you just can't do it.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I don't know if I have an actual feeling or sentiment.
I think if you got big, if you have big in your name, you probably can't do it because there are other bigs out there. You can't be Big 12 and Big 14 because
Big 12 can't switch
10.
to Big 10 because it already exists. But
Yeah.
the Big 10 has 14 teams. They got to change. No one's changing. That's just what it is. But I thought it was interesting. Pac-12 is really the only one that's moved their name accordingly. All right, give us this 3-teamer. I'm going to price it out, and I'll give you a future or a parlay.
All right, I got the Rays on the run line.
Oh gosh, you're
got
doing run line.
Walker pitching. Yeah. Astros on the run line because easy game, and then I'm gonna pick the Brewers just to win money line.
Okay, just a heads up. Waka and the Rays already won 5-4. They won by 1, but it was a 9 a.m. start time in the Pacific.
Oh, well, geez, what do I know, man?
Yeah, I know. I mean, all the pros are doing the 3-teamers on games that already won, and you still picked a loser. They won 5-4. He's like, give me Waka off the run line. I shouldn't have said anything, honestly. I should have let it go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's harsh.
I'll give you Houston minus 118, the minus 1.5. What was going to be your third game?
Oh, well, I had it was Milwaukee Brewers to win money line.
Money line for Brewers. All right, give me a second. I'll pull this one up. For all I know, they played a game too. Yeah, they're down 2 in the 7th.
I'm still thinking. All right.
You're 0 for 2 on games that already happened, basically, and he's trying to put them into a 3-teamer. Yeah, they're down 2, bottom of the 7th, man. So, all right, here's what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. All right, I'm telling you, the Dodgers, my dad's going to the game tonight. There's this run of Johnson family unders. I don't understand it. It's just the cosmic waves. You got to go under the 8.5 with your good friend Anthony. So I'm going to give you that one, but we got to find a third game for you. Anything else on the baseball card?
Well, actually, yeah. Well, who's going to win that game? Dodgers or Giants? Jeez. I'll say Dodgers. All right, and the Dodgers to win.
Okay, I can do minus 150. Excuse me, minus 148.
Oh my God.
Minus 148. So I think we have another caller on the line.
Oh, you are.
Plus 484. So nearly 5-1. I mean, I'm not. I would know why he's calling. He's gonna say like, "Can you believe this guy's trying to bet games that have already happened and he still loses?"
And wait, I want to have one more thing. I bet there's a snap call from a certain previous caller. I want to add that in. 14 parlay.
You want to go 4-teamer?
And the fourth one is that you're going to get a call from somebody who's already called.
Listen, he hit that one. That
Of
was
course,
it.
that's like minus 1,000 million.
Oh my
So like, it's not going to change your parlay price anyway. I'll lock you in a plus 484 though. I like the Dodgers ones. I'm siding with you there. I'm telling you, we got inside information. Appreciate the call, Bob. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Listen.
Oh man, top of the eighth, KC just homered again. Brewers down 3.
I don't even think I want to put Anthony on because how do you not curse in a moment like that? Like, he was cool. He didn't call in when Bob was doing the subtle shots that probably me and Anthony picked up. He didn't call in when he was wrong the first time. He didn't call in when he was wrong the second time. He called in when you called him your friend. You said your friend, Anthony. So I know that's what he's taking offense to.
No.
We're gonna throw Ty
Anthony's
on.
cooler than that. I promise you. For one, he won't swear. We have to put him back on.
We're gonna throw Ty on first.
All right, we'll go to Ty first. Make Anthony wait, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna make fun of someone trying to 3-team parlay games that already happened that already lost too. He's like Waka Waka's on the mound here. Run line it, and they already won 5-4. That was next level, Bob. Next level. Ty, welcome to the show. Are you going with something that I already mentioned it earlier? I thought you were just going to sit back and enjoy your lead because no one picks winners.
What is my lead?
So we tallied it up. You're like plus 7.94, and the lead is going to be Patrick lost last night. He was in first, sitting around 5 units, I think, or 4.5. So he's down to 3.5 to 4 range. So you're like nearly 4 units ahead of the next person. But everyone's taking parlay shots. So if one hits, then you're going to be tied with someone soon. But no one hits them.
I'm going to make a play.
Okay, let's go with it.
Can you tell me the best price you see on Patrick Reed to finish top 20 at the event this weekend?
I don't know if I can look at every site. Let me look at the prop shop that
I saw plus 110 is the best I saw.
Plus 110. I can trust you on that. Let me just confirm something. FTN has like a prop shop.
I can
thing.
send you a screenshot too after anyway.
Hold on. It's Patrick Reed?
Yeah, top 20.
All right, give me a second. I think Patrick Reed should populate top 20. So to win the Open Champion. Is it the Open Championship?
No, it's like the Open Championship just happened, so it's like the let's see, I'll pull it up on my phone right now. I think it's called the 3M Open.
Okay, the 3M Open, top 20 finish, plus 110, Will Hill. There you go. It is the best price.
Yeah,
Everywhere else is plus 100.
I'll take it.
All right. Tell us why. Any reason?
I not a ton of reasons other than I do a lot of DFS golf work, and I like him this week, and so I think it's a little more conservative of a play being in first, so I might be flexing on the other callers right now, but I think I got
nothing wrong with that.
Got some leeway. I mean, I like him to win the tournament, but there's no need to run that level of risk until one of these guys hits a 3 or 4 teamer.
Man, it's true. It's the game theory. I like it. And you can sit on it for a few days through the weekend and then kind of reassess coming into Monday. So I think it's a good play. We'll lock you in for that.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, man. Take it easy. Did Anthony stay on the line?
Yeah, we got somebody in front of Anthony, too.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
All right. Let's bring them in. Welcome to Last Word, Cheetah. Who are we talking with?
This is Ryan.
Hey, what's up, Brian from Indiana? Is that who we're talking to?
No, I'm from Maryland.
Oh, okay. This might be a different Ryan.
A friend of Ethan, so I had to call to correct him.
Okay. Tell us what you like.
First, it's Asher Wojciechowski. He's only pitched for the Cincinnati Reds and the Baltimore Orioles. So there's a reason he's a lifelong AAA guy and a journeyman for the last place team in the division. So I'm gonna do a 3-team parlay with the Dodgers, the White Sox, and the Phillies.
Okay, you know what's actually interesting? Let me pull the prices on these, and I'll give you your parlay payout price. But a few books, right after Ethan called in and took the Yankees, a few books moved on the Phillies. So someone actually went in and bet the Phillies, like right after Ethan called.
Yeah.
Don't think it was related, but I can give you minus 108 is the best price on the Phillies side. And then you said the Dodgers, right? They're like -1. I think I saw 148. Yep. Okay. And then tell me the third one real quick.
The White Sox against the Twins.
Okay. At least these games haven't started. So for a first time caller, I believe Ryan from Maryland, well done. Good work there. I can give you a -150.
I would also like to add a Sweden woman winning 3-0 against USA in the Olympic group stage.
That probably already happened. I can't do that for him. Those three MLB pay plus 438. 438. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
We'll lock you in there. Appreciate it, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Take care. Whew. All right. I got to gear up.
And he hung up. He didn't want to wait. I think he was fuming. Listen, he said around 4 o'clock. Well, this is on Fridays. He said around 4 o'clock that the booze is already flowing heavily.
I'm pretty sure that you put him behind callers that.
No, he called it. That was
the other ones were ahead of him for
fair,
real.
Fair and square. Right. Scout's honor.
Because I think he was going to make comments about Bob picking games that already happened and we're still losers. 100%. And it just the moment was lost. It's been 7 minutes now.
All of the aggression left his body, which is a good thing, man. Sometimes you just don't have to yell at the people that you want to yell at. Sometimes you could just hang up the phone and walk away. But we got to talk about Big 12 futures.
Yeah, we'll get there. We can do it now, actually. Yesterday, we went through my teams 4 through 6 in the Big 12. It was Texas. Put up the we have prices still on those. It was Texas was the only time I actually made a play on. I thought was worthwhile. There's some 7.5s at -125, -130. I liked over or 8 if you can get plus money. I prefer though at 7.5 in the -125, 130 range. Then Okie State, West Virginia, nothing of value there. So along with the TCU plays and Oklahoma to win the national title at 8-1 or better, we added Texas over 7.5. Now today we just got 2 teams because we've been doing 3 a day only to realize, the Big 12 only has 10 teams and we need to space these out over 4 days before we have Ray on to do the full recap. So my next 2, ranking 7th and 8th, and literally they're basically tied. Let me pull up my sheet. Had the wrong one up. They're basically tied as far as where they rank relative to the rest of my teams in the country. I have Baylor 54th, Texas Tech 56th, right surrounding Kentucky. So just to give you guys an idea of where they are. What's interesting to me is the discrepancies on my numbers relative to Phil Steele and PFF's on both of these schools. So Baylor, I have 54. Phil Steele has them way back at 67. So I don't know if, this is a team that was in the Sugar Bowl 2 years ago. Matt Rule leaves. He's with the Panthers. They bring in Matt Aranda and Jeff Grimes, offensive coordinator. But, Aranda, I meant Dave Aranda, sorry. He comes in. He was a DC at LSU. They win a title. He comes in. Look, Baylor had, I think they were 13th in EPA defensively last year. Their offense stunk. It was 112th, which is hard to do when you're playing Big 12 defenses week in and week out. But it was just a weird season, weird COVID. But so I've chosen to, at least to some degree, more than normal D-weight last season relative to my overall projection. So my priors on Baylor, being maybe not Sugar Bowl level, but at least better than winning 2 games like they did a season ago. So I'm higher on Baylor than I guess Phil Steele and company, and I think there's still some upside with a defense that ranks that good, and they can definitely have an offense that is better than 112th in EPA like they were last year. They were 17th in success rate. And then Charlie Brewer actually transfers, who was their quarterback, to Utah. So he's not even there anymore. And they bring in, that's why I asked Bob, who's an Oregon Ducks fan, Tyler Shough, Shough. That's why I was trying to confirm with him pronunciation, which it sounds like I was right. But it's a little dangerous. And so my projection for their wins, I guess I'm a little higher than market on Baylor. It's 5.9. It's nothing I'm betting, though. I'm not playing over 5.5. If I could find a 5 at reasonable juice, I would play over on Baylor. So people that are shopping around, I did see one, but it was still, I think, minus 145. So, which is it's basically the same thing as a 5.5, at minus 110 each way. So there's not a massive edge, but I just am concerned that the numbers on Tyler Shough. Let me pull them up. Actually, I'll just look at it. So they were 8th to last in pass play success rate last year. I talked about how their EPA, they were 112th. So they have Shough coming in, who, when he was at Oregon, he played in multiple games. And hold on a second. I'm totally botching this, I think, aren't I? Show's going to Texas Tech. I'm totally talking Texas Tech, Tyler Show, because I'm talking to Bob about Oregon. And it's going to be Gary Bohannon or Jacob Zeno who are going to be the quarterbacks for Baylor. So I apologize. We're talking Show, which I still think I'm not actually pronouncing his name correctly because I was watching previews and highlights during the break for Oregon. And they're not saying Show, but everyone I asked said it's Show. Anyway, Baylor's offense, as anemic as it was, Grimes, by the way, BYU connection, offensive coordinator. Grimes has this weird outside zone read offense he runs that worked at BYU for some reason, but also they weren't playing nearly as athletic of teams as you're going to see in the Big 12 week in and week out. I'm not sure there's upside to their offense. I think their defense will be really good. The key was last year, everyone that bet unders in Baylor games crushed it. I think they went 6-3 to the under overall. I'm not sure that'll exist anymore this year. I'd made a note to it's a team that I don't think is going to improve offensively much, and defensively, I think Aranda, what he did at LSU and then carrying it over to what he did in his first season with less talent at Baylor. And one key difference and why I like Aranda as a whole, and maybe why I'm a little more bullish outside of just the priors on Baylor, they ran cover one at LSU at one of the highest rates. It was 42%. When you're running cover one, it means you have one safety back, and it means you're banking on a ton of man coverage, right? And you have the athletes to do it. At LSU, it's successful. They had success with it. As soon as he goes to Baylor, they only ran it 10% of the time. They're outside the top 100, and that's his go-to. And so it's telling him that he recognized Baylor doesn't have the athletes or the defenses to hang and play cover one. They played cover two, actually, at the 10th highest frequency in the entire country, and then a good amount of cover three as well. I think it's good because it tells that he's willing to adjust. Two, it means that they had a 13th in EPA defensively despite not playing cover one as frequently because, so his scheming's there. I think his assessment of what he has in front of him is there. And I don't want to give him a pass for last year, but I've kind of said I'm doing these quarter to half passes on all these teams last year because it was just such a weird season. So Baylor, again, slight lean over. If you can find a 5, I would maybe bet that direction, but I'm passing on the 5.5. And now we can talk Tyler Show, the Texas Tech, who comes in. Let me pull up the numbers. This is what I was trying to find, and I was like, why am I talking about Show with Baylor right now? How bad he was at Oregon, I think, can't really be understated, and maybe people don't actually realize, even Bob. All right, here we go. You guys ready for this? So, in 2018, he was a 4-star recruit. He took over for Justin Herbert. Everyone's expecting, okay, well, this guy should be able to take over. It's an offense that has a good scheme. They've been really good in the past. All right, 4 of his 7 starts to start his career, he had a sub-47 passing grade. He ranked bottom 10, this is in 2020, in the Power 5 in turnover play rate, and he wasn't accurate. He ranked bottom 5 in all of the Power 5 in accurate pass rate. That's metrics that PFF uses in their play-by-play data. So you have a guy that, in what had been an offense that had been working for years, coming over to Texas Tech, and Matt Wells, I know that he was good at Utah State and was able to get an offense at Utah State to do things. That's a lot different playing in the Mountain West versus the Big 12. Ask Gary Patterson. It took him a few years to get to where he's at. So I don't trust Texas Tech enough, even though my ratings, now this is what I was going to get at discrepancies-wise. This blew me away. I have him 56. Phil still has him 45th, way higher. My 45 range would be right in front of Northwestern and Missouri. I absolutely would have Northwestern and Missouri favorites on a neutral field against Texas Tech. I project 5 wins. I think the 5's fair. I'm shocked that Phil Steele is as high as they are on a player and a quarterback and a transfer that just had nothing in Oregon. Literally ranked bottom 5 to 10 in all of these passing metrics under center. And he's playing in a Pac-12, which, let's be honest, I'm a Pac-12 fan, but they don't play great defense in the Pac-12, and he's still ranked that low. I mean, we're talking relative to all the Big Ten defenses and SEC defenses other quarterbacks are seeing, and they're outperforming Tyler Show. So, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I apologize to their family if I'm not. But I can't get behind the Texas Tech love that it seems some other people are. We have a call?
We do have a call.
All right. We'll take it.
It's Patrick.
We're not adding any bets to the resume. Still, if you want to see or hear, you can go back, watch it on youtube.com/BetsTV, or you can go to Last Word Cheetah, Spotify, Apple, and listen to our podcast the last 2 days. But nothing today regarding Baylor and Texas Tech. Patrick, he's just sneaking it in time. We got 2 minutes, bud. What do you like today?
Yeah, I almost missed it. I'm going to go back to that Phillies-Yankees game, but I'm going to take the over. Both of those pitchers, they they're not great. Like somebody said earlier, he was a bottom tier pitcher for the Orioles last year, and I think 10's too low. I would line that at least 10.5 or 11. Plus, there's a very favorable umpire tonight, so I'll play the over in that game.
Okay, we can give him 10, over 10, minus 108. That's the pinnacle price that looks like the best in the market. Most are juiced to minus 115, minus 120. We'll lock you in for that, man. You got it in at the buzzer. We appreciate it.
All right. See you guys.
Take it easy. Patrick is in second, so I was actually surprised he didn't call. He's usually one of the first callers, and he has a chance to catch Ty potentially in the midst of Ty sitting back waiting on a golf future. We got 2 minutes. You want to talk real quick about what you think Cam Akers means to this Rams thing? I know we were going to maybe talk about it yesterday. We didn't get to it. Just give us a minute on it. I'm just curious, from like an NFL former, football player, in the markets betting wise, analytics, like running backs don't really matter that much.
No. Yeah.
But it's Cam Akers, and he has upside.
There's two things. The NFL is running back by committee now. There's not every down backs anymore like there were in the 90s, like Emmett, Barry. That's not I-form. None of that stuff. So that's one. And the other thing is Matthew Stafford has never had a running back regardless. Reggie Bush is, I believe, his only 1,000-yard rusher. So I think he's going to be good with the weapons he has at receiver. I think I've only seen some of the props go down. Would it be it go from plus 14 to plus 12, I think it is, or whatever the number would be. So I don't think it's too crazy. I just think they're going to find ways around it. You can throw backs out the backfield. You can extend the running game with an RPO. He's not a rusher, but you throw a guy in the slot and run some bubble screens. Like, there are ways around not having a running back. So it just depends upon what Sean McVay.
I trust McVay, and I trust Stafford to some degree, but I would have liked to see them healthy. Yeah. I think it's disappointing. We're down here in LA now. I'm kind of wanting to root to have a good Rams team, and yeah, it's just brutal. And Achilles, you never know, long term for Cam Akers where he'll be at. We got to wrap up. We are finishing today's show. This is Last Word Cheetah. We are brought to you by Bets TV. You can find us on podcast formats later on today if you missed it. Apple, Spotify. We'll be back tomorrow, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. We appreciate all that called in. We'll take more calls tomorrow. You guys are trying to win $700. You can do it.